We're in the gate. And they're off. English Danger and Ellie Moore, both quick. Spirit Rules on the outside up to take the lead. Pink Whitney wasn't fast out of the gate, but rushes up to be a joint second on the outside of Ellie Moore. Nakota is also eager in the opening furlong, rushing up on the outside. Real Queen now second to last. And English Danger is 5 lengths off the lead, being set by Spirit Rules, who has made it over to the rail and leads by just under a length. Nakota is clearly into second. Down at the rail, it's Ellie Moore in third. Then Pink Whitney pushed along a bit from fourth, 3 lengths off the pace. 2 clear of Real Queen in the orange on the outside of English Danger. Down the backstretch, and it is Spirit Rules, the pacemaker by a half length in hand as well. Nakota trying to apply a little bit of pressure second. Ellie Moore comfortable along the rail in third. Then Pink Whitney in fourth, 3 lengths off the lead. Another length and a half, English Danger and Real Queen. Not much change at all. It's Spirit Rules, Nakota 1-2 into the far turn. The lead a little more than a neck. A length and a half back, Ellie Moore has saved every inch of ground. Pink Whitney is just outside of her. 2 more lengths, English Danger and Real Queen. Nakota takes the lead briefly at the quarter pole, a half length in front of Spirit Rules while drifting wide in the process. English Danger looking for racing room, one from the rail as Ellie Moore comes out after a good trip. Center of the course, Pink Whitney. There's a 16th to go, and Pink Whitney on the outside, and Ellie Moore are up to take the lead contender, and it is Pink Whitney doing best. Pink Whitney, Fresu was all over her, but she proved the best. Ellie Moore second, Nakota finished third, and then fourth, the battle between English Danger and Real Queen. They're in the gate. And they're off. It's My House sent out for the lead. Midnight Mammoth up close in the opening stages, and Aram on the outside is pushed along for some early foot too. Eastbound and Redline are together at the back of the field. It's My House makes a relatively easy lead, opens up a length and a half on Aram second. Midnight Mammoth at the rail is pushed for more in third, now about 4 lengths off the lead. Another 2 back to Redline on the outside of Eastbound. They swing onto the backstretch. It's My House, controlling things on the front end. Aram second. Midnight Mammoth is guided to their outside and settles down nicely in third. It's another 3 back to Redline fourth, and Eastbound asked for more. Now 10 lengths off them with a half mile to go. And It's My House leads by a length and a half. Aram set down, trying to close the gap second. 3 to Midnight Mammoth third, followed by Redline, who's fourth, 5 off the lead. It's a distance to Eastbound. They're approaching the quarter pole. It's My House and Aram. Midnight Mammoth, 3 off them while wide in third, and then Redline. Top of the lane, It's My House turns for home with a length and a half lead on Aram. Midnight Mammoth still trying hard, as is Redline getting involved just behind horses. And Redline dives down toward the rail, trying to run down It's My House and Aram. Aram gets to It's My House. Aram takes the lead late, and it will be Aram to score by a half length. It's My House, Redline, Midnight Mammoth. In. Hot Legs Romolo. Good luck in the pick 6. And they're off. Clean start. Sand to Sea is very quick. So is City of Angels. And these two hook up. 3 lengths in front of Topper's Wager, the gray between rivals. Then Ship and Scam and Hot Legs Romolo at the back. It's Sand to Sea just in front. City of Angels, a half length back, now within a head, as these two pass the 5/8 pole together. Hot Legs Romolo gets closer on the far outside. Topper's Wager and Ship and Scam. They have a half mile left to run, and it's Sand to Sea leading the way. City of Angels pressing in second, and these two are starting to separate themselves as Ship and Scam moves through inside Topper's Wager. Hot Legs Romolo on the outside. At the 5/16, very compact group, City of Angels puts his head in front. Sand to Sea sticking to him second. Behind them, Ship and Scam will angle out for the drive. 3/16 to go. Sand to Sea holding firm. City of Angels right to him. City of Angels, Sand to Sea, Ship and Scam within 2 lengths and closing nicely late. City of Angels or Ship and Scam. City of Angels, Ship and Scam set down and runs him down under Mario Gutierrez. City of Angels second. Sand to Sea was third. New Collection, the last one to load. And they're off. Phenom comes out very quickly. Stressed up close in the early going takes second. But it is Phenom who opens up 2. Stressed along the inside. Alternate Rock is next, inching a little bit closer. New Collection at the back of the field. Down the back stretch, and Phenom on the outside, Stressed at the rail, just a half length back second. 2 more to Alternate Rock with less than a half mile left to go, and New Collection. Phenom, the leader, lets it out a notch, opens up a length and a half. Now it's 2 suddenly, and there goes Phenom. Phenom with a 3-length lead. Stress second. Alternate Rock third. New Collection is trailed throughout. Approaching the quarter pole, and Phenom sails along with a 4-length lead. Stressed in second. New Collection trying to rally a bit on the outside with an 1/8 to run. It's been all Phenom. Phenom by 5. No one's coming close to Phenom. And that's going to be 3 for Doug O'Neill. Phenom and Frankie Dettori. Just an afternoon workout. Wins by 8 lengths. Second goes to New Collection, followed by Stressed and Alternate Rock. Time in 23 minutes. Number 5, Blazing Bardot. Make the jockey Luis Contreras. And they're off. Elton Sings Another and Riders Candy. Blazing Bardot in between them is up close too. Here's Warren's Paradise down at the rail. Plum Creek in the green in between rivals, and Jazzy Boo in that group too. So it's a compact field. 3 lengths covers them. 5 furlongs to run. Elton Sings Another. Now spurts clear to lead it by 2. Warren's Paradise at the rail. Jazzy Boo alongside. Riders Candy widest of all. Blazing Bardot is just inside of her. And at the back of the field now, Plum Creek just went by Blazing Bardot. 3/8 to run. Elton Sings Another. Maintains a 1-length lead. Riders Candy and Jazzy Boo down at the rail. Warren's Paradise fourth, 3 lengths off the lead. Another 2 back to Plum Creek and Blazing Bardot. Elton Sings Another, cruising along, turning for home. Opens up 3 without being asked for much, and Elton Sings Another is dominating. Warren's Paradise and Riders Candy battling to complete the exacta. It's a 1-horse race. Elton Sings Another, and another win for Antonio Fresu. Elton Sings Another, trounces them. Riders Candy, Warren's Paradise, Blazing Bardot. Fifth race named for Urban Elevator Service, Day at the Races. Up next to 6, scratch 5, Dancing Soul. Gritty Girl goes in. They're off. Gritty Girl and Teen Drama are both out alertly. YOLO Calls Along the Rail comes away in third. Then it's Gypsy Lynn, Dulce Emma, and two more to a new piece. It's Gritty Girl past the half-mile pole, opening up 3. Teen Drama, YOLO Calls Along the Rail is in third. It's another 2 back to Gypsy Lynn, racing inside Dulce Emma, and a new piece behind that pair. Around the turn and Gritty Girl, 2.5 length advantage. On the outside, Teen Drama and YOLO Calls are both chasing. 3 more lengths to Gypsy Lynn and Dulce Emma as a new piece swings to the outside. There's an 1/8 to go, and Gritty Girl trying to hold this lead by 1.5 lengths. Teen Drama closing in. On the outside, Dulce Emma is also kicking in. YOLO Calls between horses. It's a driving finish, including a new piece who's flying late. Here's the line. Photo finish. That is so close between a new piece and Teen Drama. Those two hit the wire together. To the great race place. Up next, the 7th, start of the golden hour, pick 4, post time in 26 minutes. Waiting on Ginobili. We're in the gate. And they're off. Beautiful beginning for Hopkins, who goes straight to the front. Ginobili on the outside. CZ Rocket, see through it, bobbled slightly, and is now 4th. And it's a gap of 3 or 4 back to Parnelli. It's Hopkins to the half-mile pole, showing the way, 3/4 of a length. CZ Rocket is up close on the inside of Ginobili. 2 more to see through it, and 4 to Parnelli. It's Hopkins into the far turn, speeding away to a 2-length lead. CZ Rocket and Ginobili both cut right back into that margin, and see through it is just 3 lengths off them. Another 4 back to Parnelli as they come to the quarter pole. And Hopkins is one of 3 across the track. Ginobili on the outside, CZ Rocket in between, and see through it there at the top of the stretch. And Hopkins is asked to go now, leads by a half length. See through it, running a big race on the outside of CZ Rocket as Ginobili drops back. Here's See Through It with a sustained bid right up to Hopkins. CZ Rocket steadied in behind them, and See Through It runs them all down to pull off the upset. Hopkins second, CZ Rocket, Parnelli, and Ginobili. We're in the gate. They're off. Cribbage board in the center, joined immediately by To Spider, and Awesome Rhythm is up close too. They're followed by Neon Lights, a close 4th, 2 lengths clear of Mars on Fire. Then it's Gold Council and Vorpal. 5 lengths covers the field, and it's To Spider at the half-mile pole just in front of Cribbage board. Another 2 back to Neon Lights in 3rd. Awesome Rhythm is 3 off the pace in 4th. Mars on Fire inching up outside of that pair. Gold Council and Vorpal. Now 6 lengths covers the field with To Spider narrowly in front. Cribbage board pressing in second. 2 more to Awesome Rhythm on the outside, being pushed along, trying to get closer 3rd. Mars on Fire is next. Then Neon Lights looking for a way through. Vorpal is the gray on the far outside. Gold Council weaving through traffic at the 8th pole. And here's Neon Lights diving down nicely along the inside to challenge for and take the lead. Awesome Rhythm on the outside moves into second. It's Neon Lights and Umberto Rispoli just in front. Photo finish tight between Neon Lights and Awesome Rhythm, who finished very well too. Cribbage board is in a battle for 3rd with a closing Gold Council.
As you saw on the scenic shot right now, and if you look behind us, you can also see a live shot of the racetrack as well. Everybody's wondering, are we fast and firm here at St. Anita today? Well, as we speak, yes, we are. We are on the turf course, and we have a fast main track. There are some light rain showers in the area, but I don't think it's going to impact racing if the weather forecasters are right, because it's obviously a very good card. Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quigley, VIP Player Concierge, your seminar host for the next 37 minutes or so. And, you know, I've developed a lot of friendships by meeting people at the racetrack, and one of them is sitting right next to me. He's a veteran horse player. His name, David Nance. David, welcome to the seminar. Happy Saturday.
Good to be here, kid.
We've probably known each other a good 30, 40 years. I got here in 1986, and you and a bunch of guys were hanging up by Nola's bar, reading the sheets and playing the races on an everyday basis.
Right.
And the rest is history.
It sure was.
You've really created a lot of good friendships out here at the racetrack.
Well, and we're becoming kind of the last breed here. We're like the last generation through here. So I just hope we have a couple more years here and, you know, to really enjoy what's going on.
I think we will. And one of the better friendships you actually developed was with Academy Award-winning director Eric Roth. He's obviously, if you look at his resume, a very notable name in Hollywood. You met him at the racetrack of all places.
I met him in Nola's bar, right there at Nola's bar.
What happened? You guys were just chit-chatting about
a race?
We
were chit-chatting. Woody was there. Woody Copeland was his dear friend, and I met him through him, and we started chatting, and we got to know each other, and I've been burying him for the last 25 years, so, you know, nothing changed. But, yeah, he's a dear friend.
He's nominated for another Golden Globe, and he took a little spill at home, and he's recovering from a couple of sore ribs as well.
I want to give a shout-out. Hopefully he's okay at home. I know those ribs are hurting, buddy, but don't worry, you'll be fine. And we're going to pick some winners today, and that'll always makes it better.
Forrest Gump is one of the screenplays that he wrote, as well as Muhammad Ali. I mean, the list is incredible. Do you see that brilliance when you hang out with him? In other words, do you see flashes of it?
I told him the other day, we went to a Q&A for his new movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, and I said, you know, sitting there watching, and him and Marty Scorsese were sitting up there, and they were
saying it's just like a casual name, Martin Scorsese.
And I was just thinking to myself, you know, that's my dear buddy, and I don't, you know, I take his brilliance for granted, and he's obviously so talented and amazing, and I'm blessed to have him as a friend.
He sure is. Now, you're also very honest, David, and one of the things you told me both yesterday as well as before we came on air is you're in a horrific losing streak, and I'm hoping that we're the slump buster to get you out of that losing streak.
It's been beyond belief. Me and my partner Eric, we've been running so bad this year. We couldn't pick a winner in a one-horse race lately. But today, hopefully, it'll be better. Like I'm sad that the rain has showed up.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe it won't affect things too bad. But there's some decent plays today.
Yeah. And how do you handle that mentally? Because we all go through it, and of course, it's going to end at some point. It's like a hitter in baseball that's going through a slump.
I think what happens is, you know, you try to adjust, just like, you know, you start adjusting with your pitcher second time around. You know, you just look and say, you know, well, how did he pitch me this time? And hopefully, you know, you can adjust. And the way the weather is showing, it's not raining really hard right now. Hopefully, you know, it'll kind of cease here, and they'll leave it on the turf and not change things, because if it comes off the turf, obviously everything changes.
Yeah, of course. Now, you also read the thoroughgraphs on a somewhat religious basis, as far as I know, or the magazine sheets as well. Like, what benefit do these ancillary products give you in terms of maybe making a better profit?
For me, they just give me a level. I'm looking for a level. I'm looking for patterns. I'm looking for horses that are moving forward, horses that are moving backwards. So, you know, it's more of a level more than anything for me. You know, I don't necessarily jump out at the fastest number or whatever, you know, but, you know, I look for tops, I look for different, you know, column to column. It's just another tool.
Is it easier to find a level for a $10,000 claimer or in the Breeders' Cup races, or is it basically the same thing?
Well, the Breeders' Cup races, you know, they're all basically at the same level. You know, as a rule, they're at the same level, but, you know, you can just see how some horses move forward and some horses might be just kind of moving a little bit backwards, depending upon, you know, especially during November when the Breeders' Cup races are coming up, you know, and you're always looking for horses that are more, you know, moving towards, you know, fresher, you know, moving forward.
And that's all based on a number. Is that generally what you're looking at?
As a rule, you know, they base it on a number. They base it on trip, you know, wide, you know, inside, outside. If it was a paceless race, that kind of thing. So, you know, and it just depends. And, you know, the number maker is truly the genius here. If he doesn't get the variant right, it doesn't really matter.
And I also see you spend a lot of time in the paddock, where I hang out almost on a regular basis as well. When you go to the paddock, is it just a social aspect, or are you actually looking at the horses?
Both, of course. You know, we're always looking for laughs down there, of course. But, you know, I think it's important to look at the horses, because sometimes horses come out and they're just washed out, or they're jumping around, and they're, you know, you just know that they're just, you know, either they're just calm as can be, or they're you know, they're just ready to jump out over the paddock wall. So
it looks like on paper, David, that we've got a very competitive first race, which is a maiden race with a lot of high-priced maidens. I'm assuming that's a race where you'll definitely go into the paddock because of the attributes traits that
Yeah,
you just mentioned.
I mean, I just think you can tell by a lot of horse body language when you go down there with horses that, especially coming out first time, how they're feeling and whether or not they're acting up and have they had them down there with the people and all the rest of it. So I think it's important.
For these races with the babies, like the first race, do you spend a lot of time looking at the pedigree, or is that secondary to you?
I mean, I look at it, it's not my thing, Tom. I think a lot of guys are smarter than me. I listen to, guys that are a lot smarter than me when it comes to that. Of course, I will read it and see what they've paid for. And, and I think, definitely in turf, I think it's important more so, but that I don't pay a whole lot of attention.
One more question for you before we take a break. Do all the sheet readers fall on the same horse, or can sheet readers look at the same sheets and come up with different horses?
As far as I think there's a lot of great sheet readers around here. I think a lot of them look at it totally different. I know Brian Carney and I, sometimes we look at things so differently. And of course, Mr. Cinch, Leo, he he
was my seminar guest once in Los
he
Alamitos.
finds the
Can you
number,
believe that?
he said, he's always looking for the fastest number. And like I say, everybody has a method to their madness, so to speak.
We're going to display our madness for the next 30 minutes and find out who David likes on today's 9-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramani and get the early changes Saturday here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. Track is fast and the turf is firm. The rail on the turf is out 10 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, number 5, Mongolian Max make the jockey Santiago Gonzalez. No changes in race 2. The third, no changes. Fourth starts the $1 pick 6 with a blinker note. The all-turf pick 3 starts with the 5th race, $3 bet, races 5, 7, and 9. This is also the beginning of the late pick 5, a couple of blinker notes. In the 6th, scratch 2, Lady Marianne. No high 5 wagering in race 6. In the 7th, scratch number 7, Flight to Quality. 6th race, scratch number 2, Lady Marianne. 7th race, scratch number 7, Flight to Quality. In the 8th, the grade 3 La Cañada, scratch number 5, Cliquish. It's the start of the golden hour, pick 4. Race 9, scratch number 5, Pioneer Prince, start of the $5 golden hour double. Those are the changes on today's card. We're fast and firm with the rail at 10 feet. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. We have the very popular Coast to Coast Pick 5. Every Saturday and Sunday, we've had a carryover. We've had some huge payoffs. It's available again today, starting with Gulfstream's 9th race, which goes at 1:06 p.m. Pacific. Low 15% takeout, $1 minimum every Saturday and Sunday. Lucrative opportunities to cash in big. The Coast to Coast Pick 5 again today. Post time for the opener at 12:30, 58 minutes away. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner in the studio. His special guest today is handicapper David Nance.
Welcome back. We're shooting the breeze with veteran horse player David Nance. It's our pleasure to have him today. He's on track on a daily basis. You won't find more dedicated horse players than David. He's always got a good opinion. So let's find out, David, who you like in race number 1. It's the aforementioned, sure seems to be on paper, a very loaded maiden special weight race, going 6.5 furlongs for 3-year-olds. Also, race 1 begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. As we heard track announcer Frank Miramati just say, make the jockey on number 5, Mongolian Max, Santiago Gonzalez. Bob Baffert has 2 of them in here, including the morning line favorite and the current betting choice at 3-5, number 2, My Moon. Before we get your thoughts on the race, David, I wanted to take a look at a workout for My Moon. It was on January 6th of this year. It's a team gate drill, and you'll see breaking from the gate. One thing that I noticed with My Moon is take a look at how he's throwing his head around coming out of the gate. That is a little bit pause for concern, simply because he's going to have to clean that up now in a race with much more than just one other horse facing him. But you can see he's kind of in cruise mode here for trainer Bob Baffert. One of the things I wanted to point out, and you'll see this as they turn for home a little bit later in this workout, is that the exercise rider will keep My Moon well off the rail, and that's one of the reasons why the published time for the workout of 1:14 and change from the gate doesn't really bother me because of the extra distance. This is one of the benefits you can see watching the workouts free of charge on xbtv.com. You just type in the name in the search box, and all the workouts for a particular horse will show up. It's an invaluable tool for handicappers. And also, while we're looking at the workout, waiting for them to turn for home again, take note of how wide My Moon is. Take a look at if you have the past performances in front of you. The purchase price of $900,000 was 90 times the stud fee of Frosted, who stands for $10,000. A multiple of 20 is pretty outrageous. So you know that the Connections here, which is one of Bob Baffert's main clients, must have loved this horse at auction, paying 90 times the stud fee. And you can see right now just drawing away. This is another thing I think, David, this is why Bob debuted him at 6.5 today. Sure looks like this horse wants extra distance, maybe even farther than this is what's going to be in his powerhouse alley going forward. But I know that you don't like My Moon. Neither do I necessarily, only because it looks to be a little bit of a loaded race.
Well, whenever you're dealing with maiden special weights, you know it's Bob Baffert's world, and you always have to deal with him. He's got 2 in here, the Mayum and Normandy Landing, $1 million purchase there, draws the leading rider with Flavian. I say, obviously you've got to deal with him every time you see him here. I went to a little bit different angle here. I like the rail, Georgie's horse, Tessudo. He broke too slow the other day. He pulled down the backside. He just never stopped running. I think with a better break today, he'll get a better trip. I think that will do him a ton of good. The fact that he has a race over the track. I love the way he finished up. My second choice, All That Glory. I mean, he was in the 10 box the other day. He absolutely quarter-horsed out of there. He opened up 3 before they even knew where he was going. He ran really, really good. What was troubling about me, he never changed leads in the lane. 6.5. He did, even though he's going the same distance today. He's going to probably have to be dealt with out there. He gets Frankie, who's so super aggressive and super strong. And obviously they add Lasix today. I was torn between both of them. I ended up going to the rail.
1 and 8 in race number 1, so says our seminar guest, David Nance. I'm going to throw another statistic out there, David, for a horse that I kind of give a little bit of a look to. It's number 4, Marty's Fish, for 2 reasons. The dam has had 3 first-time starters, 1 win, 1 second, and 1 third. So the precocity is there on the dam side. And also, Phil D'Amato, very quietly, has done very well with his last 10 first-time starters. His last 10 first-time starters, 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 1 third. 7 for 10 in the money for trainer Phil D'Amato, drawn outside one of the primary rebels, My Moon, from the Bob Baffert barn. But a really good race that I think is going to be a productive and key race down the line, and maybe just maybe might have Kentucky Derby implications. Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're spreading 6 furlongs in the main track. $25,000 is the claiming tag. Non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Field of 6, the returnee off a September layoff. Number 4, the Bullion Bomber, is the 2-1 morning line favorite from the Pete Urton barn. How'd you see this race, David?
Well, it's a kind of a super competitive race. It's not like I really loved anything in here. Eagles Landing is probably the only horse that I think really is up against it. I ended up going with Pat's Paddock pick. He's got speed. The other day when JJ rode him, he showed really, really good speed. It was vicious up front. And he just when obviously he felt like he was not going to be able to go on. JJ just wrapped up on him. He just sat on him the whole way. He only got beat 5 lengths, but he never abused him down the lane. He just sat on him. Now he gets, another month and a half off. He's taking the drop, which is always concerning for me. But, in this context, I think he's going to make the lead here. The Bullion Bomber and Houndstooth, they come out of that Father's Day race to get, they both kind of ran the same. The Bullion Bomber, I guess, came back with a good work. He freshened him up a little bit. Fresh U is a little bit more aggressive. Peter Earton's done nothing wrong. He'll probably get the right trip here. Houndstooth, he kind of promises more than he delivers. He just doesn't have enough speed. Blue Cheese Oliva on the outside, he might get the right trip. He could end up being part of this thing here. I ended up picking Pat's pick.
And it's interesting, David, your top selection, number 3, Pat's paddock pick, off that somewhat disappointing effort, although you described the trip perfectly. Juan Hernandez elects to rewrite on the drop. I always like to see that when a somewhat disappointing effort results in the same jockey riding back.
Right.
Race number 3, we're back on the turf course, 1 mile the distance, or I should say we're on the turf course, 1 mile the distance. This race is for 3-year-old fillies, allowance optional claiming, non-winners of 1 other than. The rails today are at 10 feet. Number 2, Mo Fox Giving, who has an improving Beyer speed figure pattern, is the 8-5 morning line favorite. Second choice on the bottom at 9-5 is number 5, Miss Brightside. How'd you see race 3, David?
Well, I wanted to love Spice in here. I really did. I always like sprinters stretching out, especially when they go to turf. I wanted to love him. I watched this film. I think he's going to make the lead here. He could really fool me here. He's certainly bred for turf and distance. I didn't like the way he finished. I didn't like the way he galloped out. He certainly, like I said, could fool me here. Mo Fox Given is absolutely the horse to beat here. He's definitely BTL versus a very slow pace the other day. I don't know why Umberto took him so far back, in a paceless race the other day where he could have certainly been near the lead. He dropped back. He came flying. He gets Lasix today. I think he's the horse to beat. I ended up picking Miss Brightside, and my reasoning is this. The other day in that race, in that Zona Verde race, Zona Verde made the lead in a race where that was absolutely almost impossible that he could go to the lead, and he ended up going to lead off of very, very slow splits. I thought this horse strangled down on the inside. He kind of, let him go that day, and he ended up running even, So I think with a race under his belt and now coming to a different turf course, if Spice blows out the lead, I think Freshu will lay second and maybe have first run over Mo Fox Giving. I made a 5/2.
It's interesting, David's top pick again. If you have the past performance in front of you, you can see in her debut in Ireland. She debuted in a field of 13. She won by open lengths, and she went off at 5-1. So she certainly was well considered on debut. And now, as you mentioned, the jockey switch over to Fresu with a small field could basically be on top of a relatively slow pace. Race number 4 begins the $1 pick 6. Did you play the $1 pick 6 yesterday? I don't think you hit it.
I did actually, and I all-wheeled the right race too, but unfortunately I missed a race before.
So the Hopkins race where C threw at 1, you actually had all.
I all did there.
Right.
I kind of felt that race was kind of a shaky race, yeah, and obviously gotten lucky, but I believe it or not, I missed a 3-5 shot. In the race before.
5 of 6. You had 5 of 6.
I singled another horse.
Tough game, isn't it?
I missed the 3-5 shot.
Well, today's sequence I actually like a lot. The $1 pick 6 sequence is what I'm referring to. And in race number 4, we're going 1 mile on the main track for $25,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. We've got a field of 6. Number 5, Bendito Joe from the Vladimir Serin barn is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Rare favorite for Diego Herrera, whose agent is currently Ryan Casado. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here, Dave?
Well, it's a super, super, super competitive race. I'm kind of thumbs down on him. I'm gonna take a shot here. I think it's super competitive. Mystic Flyer is the kind of the common denominator here, where you don't know what he's going to do. He's been a vet scratch. He takes the almighty drop. Looks like he could clear in here. Benedetti Joe, who I made my second choice here, looks like he might be the other speed. I'm going with a horse with Sean McCarthy's horse Hot Rod Ride. I generally don't pick horses like this who come off of a long layoff and kind of, their second race back, I always think they bounce. But JJ takes the mound here. He broke a lane slow, and then he had to take up. He steadied. He lost two. He fell back. He had a good rail trip. He finished full of run and galloped out really well. I like the fact that JJ goes to this horse in like I said, in a super competitive race. You know, Montana was 4 deep on both turns. Seems like all of a sudden he's found himself here. Derecho Dandy had a little bit of trouble in the lane the other day. Like I said, Benedetti will probably just get the right trip behind Mystic Flyer. Syntax takes the almighty drop out of allowance. It's very, very competitive. I went with the 2.
2 and 5 in race number 4 to kick off the pick 6. Let's turn the page. Take a look at race number 5. Begins the 50-cent late pick 5. Also the $3 all-turf pick 3. That's a wager where the final 3 races on Sanita's card are covered in this new $3 higher denomination pick 3 wager. And we kick things off in race 5 going 1 mile on the turf course for maiden claiming 3-year-olds in for a $50,000 tag. We've got a field of 8. 2 first-time geldings. Number 5, Big Reds and Ribeye is a first-time gelding, as is number 7, Gold Foot, the morning line favorite. On the bottom, number 8, Potential Span from the Doug O'Neill barn. Doug had 3 winners on yesterday's card. Is he going to get one here?
Well, you know, he's starting to become kind of a trial horse. He takes the almighty drop today, gets blinkers on. You know, certainly, you know, you can make a case for him off his second and third race down, you know, where he had a little bit of trouble, was finishing up okay. I went in another direction today. I think this race is super competitive. There could be, you know, potentially 3 or 4 speed horses in here. I'm hoping that Maximum Capacity can make the lead inside. He's been doing all the running. He certainly didn't like the dirt the other day. His second race down in the Rastaman Vibe race, he did all the running in that race. He never stopped running until deep stretch. I think he's the inside speed. I make him my top choice. I find this 4-horse Daddy Justify an interesting horse. Again, I don't like when they paid $300,000 and now they put him one race and in for 50, but he broke slow. He was hopelessly beaten the whole way around. But if you watch him cross the wire, he ran across the wire with run, and his legs were moving good, and he galloped out decently. He's a Justify stretching out. I make him my second choice.
And he was 5-2 on debut.
And he was
well.
5-2 exactly. He was bet.
2 and 4. I'll give you a couple of statistics. One you can see in the racing form, one you can't for David's top pick. Number 2, Maximum Capacity. Over the last 16 to 18 months or so, you can see whenever Michael McCarthy, the trainer of Maximum Capacity, and Umberto Rispoli team up, they win at a 25% win clip. That's the statistic you can see. The statistic you can't see, courtesy of DRF Formulator, is how has Michael McCarthy done with his maiden special weight to maiden claiming horses the last 5 years? He's done it 66 times over the last 5 years. He's hit the winner's circle 18 times. 18 for 66, 27% win clip whenever Michael McCarthy drops a maiden special weight runner down into the maiden claiming ranks for the very first time. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. This time we're sprinting on the main track. 6.5 furlongs is the distance for Calbred, fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types. Non-winners of 1 other than. Scratch the 2, Lady Marianne, leaves us with a field of 6. The morning line favorite, number 5, Scary Fast Ride, who's 9-5 according to morning line odds maker John White. Before we get your thoughts on the race, David, I wanted to show a replay that 2 of these runners exit. Both Irish Wahini on the inside and number 7, Wish They All Could Be, exit the same race. This race was back on December 29th right here at Sanita. It was the 4th race. And again, if you have the past performances in front of you, you can see number 7 in this race, Wish They All Could Be, actually broke from the rail and threw her head at the start and really missed the break by probably 15 lengths or so. I think you'll be pretty amazed listening to Frank Miramati describe the action, both watching number 1, Irish Wahini, who winds up winning the race, and number 7, Wish They All Could Be, who breaks from the rail, who winds up finishing second.
And they're off in an extremely tardy beginning for Wish They All Could Be, who's already 15 lengths out of it. Irish Wahini is very quick away from there, Dancing Dana up close in the early going, and Roman Empress not far behind as Irish Wahini races well off the rail. Flatter with Jules has 3 to make up. It's a gap of 7 back to Hot Rod Mama, and Wish They All Could Be starts to advance well in the center of the track. Irish Wahini has passed the half-mile pole with a 1.5 length lead on Dancing Dana second. Flatter with Jules, Roman Empress inching up in 4th. Wish They All Could Be just 5 lengths off the lead, and Hot Rod Mama Midway on the far turn, Irish Wahini trying to cling to a narrow advantage over Dancing Dana in second. Then Wish They All Could Be, who's made it up to be a joint third on the outside of Roman Empress. Flatter with Jules in striking range at the white blinkers there at the top of the stretch. And Irish Wahini has a 2-length edge on the inside. Flatter with Jules is closing nicely into second, followed by Wish They All Could Be. 16th to go. Irish Wahini by 2. Irish Wahini leads them all the way under Tyler Bays to score by 2.5.
David, Wish They All Could Be hopped in the start, threw her head, did everything wrong, and yet wound up being dead game to finish second, outbobbing the third place finisher there. Irish Wahini had her own way on the front end. How'd you see this race after watching that replay?
And I remember that day, Tom. Irish Wahini didn't figure to make the lead that day. If you look at her past performances before that, she's never been on or near the lead ever in her life, and they won 23-46-2, which actually makes Wish They All Could Be even more BTL. He was awesome in that race. He obviously loves Santa Anita. He's 3 wins in a second year out of 4 starts. Sergio Morfin does amazing with the horses that he has, a quarter horse trainer from down at La Salle. He does a great job with what he brings up here. They always look good in the paddock. Scary Fast Smile. He's obviously the horse that you're going to have to go through here. His second race down against Don't You Forget It. Him and Shanghai's Surprise both were in there. Shanghai's Surprise did have some trouble in there. Looked like he had horse. He kind of got taken up and out. Again, that's the hidden entry here. To me, 5 and 6 look the same. 5 obviously will be over bet. Certainly he's the horse to have to beat. Soul Sweet is fresh and could clear here. Dangerous race. I originally picked Lady Marianne because I thought he was the inside speed there out of the Don't You Forget race. He scratched. So I ended up picking 7 over 5.
David's second or third selection, as you can see on the board right now, the graphics in race number 6 is number 4, Soul Sweet, giving her, I should say, a little bit of a look, perhaps early dangerous speed. 30-1 on John White's morning line. Could be a knockout runner in all the multi-race sequence wagers. Race number 7, we're back going 2 turns on the turf course. It's a 1 1/8 for maiden special weight. 3-year-old filly. Scratch the 7 leaves us with a field of 8. Phil D'Amato now trains 2 in here, including the morning line favorite number 3, Circle of Trust, who's 3-1 on the morning line. Flavian in the saddle as well. Interestingly, David, 7 of the 8 runners in here exit the same race, and this race was back on December 26th, opening day. It was our nightcap race, race number 11. You can pick and choose any runner you want to watch the replay on, but I would encourage you to watch the replay for number 9 in this particular race, American Dreammaker, who in race number 7 drew the far outside for career start number 2. She's going to break from post position number 7. She wasn't prepared for the break. She basically galloped around until deep stretch when she really took hold, and we're also going to see that on the gallop out as well. That race that in her debut was at a mile. Today's race is at a 1 1/8. She's going to have to overcome another difficult outside post. But let's watch her break from post position number 11 in this field of 12 and listen to Frank Miramati describe the action.
They're in the gate. And they're off. A tardy beginning for Blue Fashion. It was a quick one for Gerwig, but now visually sprinting up to take over. Speed Shopper is down at the rail, close up in the early going, and Sea Dancer joins the party on the outside of I'm a Joker, with Tianma widest of all, only about 2.5 or so off the lead into the first turn. They're followed at the rail by Oratium. Oratium is now 7 lengths off the lead, just behind I'm a Joker and now angling off the rail. Respect the Crown went a bit wide into the first turn. Then came Flight to Quality, racing on the inside of Affair. At the back of the field, Blue Fashion and American Dream Maker. About 15 lengths covers the field, as the leader is visually with a half mile to travel, has a 3.5 length lead. Sea Dancer in hand second and getting closer. Another 2 back to Tianma in third, followed by Gerwin. Inside, I'm a Joker, 5th at this point. At the rail, Oratium has 8 or 9 lengths to make up, followed by Speed Shopper, Ask for More, Respect the Crown outside of that pair. Affair is underway, making progress, but making it with a 4 or 5 wide bid. Another 2 back to Flight to Quality, American Dream Maker, and Blue Fashion, top of the lane, and visually still with a 3-length lead. Sea Dancer chasing with determination, trying to close the gap in second, followed by Gerwig and Oratium, a 16th to go, and it's visually holding on, and visually another for Edwin Maldonado takes him coast to coast.
David, American Dreammaker in the purple and black silks basically made this late run, and now on the gallop out, you can pick her up here on the outside. The winner went wire to wire. Take a look at the gallop out for number 9, American Dreammaker, wearing saddlecloth number 11. When we continue watching this gallop out, and they show from a different perspective, you'll see American Dreammaker gallop out right there past the winner. It sure looks like a 1.125 might hit her between the eyes if she improves just a little bit breaking from the gate today.
Definitely. I definitely made her my second choice, but if you look at the same race, and I wasn't paying attention, I realized that was the same race. The same horse that I end up picking here is a horse called Blue Fashion. He is well broke too slow in that race, and just like Michael's horse who broke too slow and fell back, he was down on the inside. He came flying in between horses. He galloped out almost as well as American Dreamer. I picked him over the 9 only because he was 15 on the board, and I think this horse will be totally overlooked. This race, you look at C Dancer, who actually had a perfect second there, and kind of was second best in that out of the visually race. Who, like you said, 7 horses come out of that race. I ended up going, Tommy, with Blue Fashion here over the 9.
And that replay, for those of you watching, was the 11th race on December 26th at Sandy. I would encourage you to watch it many, many times and focus on each different horse, including David's top pick, number 5, Blue Fashion, because you learn a lot about the trips. And obviously, there's a lot of different websites you can pull up the race replays absolutely free of charge. Race number 8 is our feature race on the card. It's the Grade 3 La Cañada for fillies and mares going 1 1/16 on the main track, $100,000 guaranteed, and it also begins the $1 golden hour pick 4 wager, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. We've got a field of 5 after the scratch of number 5, Clickish. The morning line favorite, fresh off a victory over Desert Dawn, is number 6, Midnight Memories, 6-5 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, David, I wanted to show a workup for Desert Dawn. This was a team drill back on January 24th, early morning, just basically 6 days or so ago. You can see it's a team drill, and Desert Dawn's the filly or the mare in the back of the pack who's going to swoop on by and basically inhale the 2 runners in front of her. Musical Rhapsody, you can see, is one of those 2 runners in front of Desert Dawn. And Musical Rhapsody actually finished second in the Grade 3 a Grade 3 stakes race on the turf course down at Del Mar this past November. So she's swooping by a couple of runners who actually have a little bit of ability. Now, Desert Dawn has probably been promised more than what she's actually delivered. You can see she's only 1 for 13 these last 2 years, but she also gets Flavian for the very first time in the saddle, which I think is important. And here's that electrifying move that Desert Dawn makes in the workout, blowing right by her work competition. This was pretty scintillating. It actually earned a super workout grade from clocker Toby Terrell, who very rarely gives out those grades. And you can certainly understand why. This was pretty impressive in my opinion, but I'm not out here in the morning, and they don't run for any money in the morning, David. They run for money in the afternoon. Who'd you like in race 8 and why?
I ended up picking Desert Dawn here. Her and Midnight Memories come out of the same race, and Midnight Memories was awesome the other day. She was down on the inside. Desert Dawn got the huge jump on her. When they turned for home, she blew open about 3 lengths. Midnight Memories was down on the race. JJ had to pull her out. She ended up wearing her down, and it looked like she had a lot of gas at the end. She comes off of a May layoff. Again, I always think horses will bounce their second time back. Desert Dawn, I think, will be in front of this horse and gets Flavian today. I went with Desert Dawn over Midnight.
And Desert Dawn in that common race, the Bayaco at Los Alamitos, broke from the far outside post. She gets a little bit more comfortable post today, breaking from post number 4. Should be a good competitive stakes race, the Grade 3 La Cañada, which goes as race 8. Race number 9 closes out the card. Keep in mind, live racing resumes tomorrow. An 8-race card begins at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. But first things first, race number 9, we're traveling 1 mile on the turf course for maiden claimers. $50,000 is the claiming tag. Also begins the $5 golden hour daily double. Linking our last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. Scratch the 6, leaves us with a field of 8. Number 2 is a first-time gelding. The lukewarm morning line favorite is number 4, Caribbean King, at 7-2, justifying that this race is wide open. How'd you see it, David?
Super competitive race. Caribbean King obviously took the drop the other day, was favored, and had the perfect. They come out. There's like four or five horses, 4 horses that come out of the auto line race here. Had a perfect trip with Flavian. To me, had absolutely no excuse. Quintessence, I've been chasing this horse for a long time. I'm off him today. He'll probably park today. I finally have had enough of him. He is a speed horse. I ended up going with Player B. He takes the drop today. Rosario rode him perfectly out of the Captain Cucci's race the other day. He was down along the rail. He angled out. He was a little bit wide turning for him, but he was finishing, taking the drop today. You know, at 6-1, I'm going to take a little chance with her. The other horse that I made second was the horse on the rail, Cantaro de Oro. His second race down, when I felt it should have been his worst race, he ran his best race where I thought he should have bounced off his first level. And then he came back in his third race, and he didn't really do much running the other day. He had a little bit of trouble, but I'm going to give him another chance on a rebound, and I made it 9/1.
David Nance thinks Doug O'Neill could have a big impact on race number 9. He saddles 2 runners in the field. David picked them 1, 2, 9, 1 in that specific order. David, I think I speak for many of the viewers that we could listen to you all day, handicap and analyze the races, but the proof is going to be in the pudding. We're going to see if you get off the schneid and give us some winners.
Well, I'll tell you what, you'll just probably see me in the parking lot, you know, looking for Coke bottles to bring to the recycling if things don't work out today.
Well, we hope things do work out for you. I know 2023 was a difficult time period for you, both personally and professionally. So hopefully nothing but blue sky going forward.
Thank
And
you,
honored to be able to call you a friend.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Tommy.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati, updating us with any late program changes, as well as the track conditions as well, if they need any updating. Appreciate you watching. Good luck and have some fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf course firm. Here are the changes. Nothing new to report in the first. Number 5, Mongolian Max, make the jockey Santiago Gonzalez. No changes in race 2. No changes in the third. A blinker note as we start the pick 6 with race 4. In the 5th race, start of the all-turf pick 3, $3 wager, races 5, 7, and 9 in the sequence, and the beginning of the late pick 5, blinker notes. Race 6, scratch 2, Lady Marianne, no high 5. In the 7th, scratch 7, Flight to Quality. 8th is the grade 3 La Cañada, scratch number 5, Cliquish. Golden Hour pick 4 starts with the 8th. Golden Hour double starts with the 9th, scratch 5, Pioneer Prince. On Saturdays and Sundays, we offer the Coast to Coast pick 5. Combining races from Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita. Today, we begin with Gulfstream's 9th at 106 Pacific. There's a low player-friendly 15% takeout, $1 minimum. This wager offered on Saturdays and Sundays. They'll be at the gate for our first in just 27 minutes at 12:30. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park.